Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Leslie and today I wanted to make another paper craft idea using cardstock from OLLIE'S and some that I have in my stash. Today what I want to make is a post-it note holder, and I got this idea from the Positively Papercraft YouTube channel because I've been Googling what type of gifts I could make using all of this paper for co-workers, for teachers, for anything. So this one looked pretty simple and fun, and I thought, well, let's give that a whirl. So you're going to have 3 strips of paper. You're going to cut paper A to 9 1/8 by 5 7/8. Paper B will be cut to 8 1/8 by 3.5. Paper C, you will need 2 of these, and they will be 3 1/2 by 3 3/8. First thing I'm going to do is cut A, and then I'm going to score it on that 9 1/8 side at 1 1/2, 3, 6 1/8, and 7 5/8. I'm going to then rotate the paper and score it at 1 1/2, 3, and 6 1/8. Okay, so let's just get that done first. All right, had to edit this part of the video because I had my measurements wrong. Never knew I was dyslexic. Okay, great. So the measurements for side A or piece A will be 9 1/8 by 7 5/8. Okay, so I'm going to cut 4 pieces of that. 9 1/8 is 2 lines past the 9. And then we're going to do 7 5/8. So that's 7. Can you see? 7. We have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. Okay. 2 lines past the 1/2 inch. 7 1/2 plus 2 lines. Okay. The second piece will be 8 1/8 by 3 1/2 because we're going to get our life together. 8 1/8 is 2 lines in. One, 2 by 3 1/2. So that will be 3 1/2. All right, so we have paper A and paper B. I'm going to cut 8 more pieces at 3 1/2 by 3 3/8. So I'm going to come in here and say 3 1/2. Okay, and then we want to go here and say 3 1/2 is there, so we want to go 1 line in. Let's see if those are the same. They're not. Okay, they are if you turn them the right way though. Okay, 2 of those. I need 6 more of those. I'll be back. Alright, so now I have all of my main papers cut. Paper A measures 9 1/8, excuse me, by 7 5/8. Paper B is 8 1/8 by 3 1/2. C is 3 1/2 by 3 3/8. I'm going to start with A and do my scoring. on the 9 1/8 side, you are going to score at 1 1/2, 3 inches, 6 1/8, and 7 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One line past the 1/2 inch mark. Okay, then you're going to turn it and you're going to score at 1 1/2. You're going to score at 3 inches, and you're going to score at 6 1/8, which is one line past the 6. Okay? So, your paper will look something like this. Usually we fold it on all the creases and do all that, but we're going to start by cutting away the parts that we don't need so that it's not super bulky in, one side or one corner. All right, so this is going to be the front of the box. This will be the back of the box. So we want to cut it down to where we can make it reinforced edges, and we're going to go on this second score line where you have the 2 long ones, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares here. Cut here up to that second score line. Then you're going to cut away both of these bottom squares. Then you're going to cut away only this outer square on the top. And then just like we did with the other boxes we made, we're just going to go at a slight angle and cut that away. Okay, so then we're going to go at a slight angle and cut that away. Okay, and this is what it looks like now. And then next, all we want to do is make that same just slight angle cut there. Come over here and do the same thing. You're going to cut away the first, I have to think, the first 2 squares. Okay. Helps if you cut it all the way. Don't be afraid to cut it all the way. All right, and then I'm going to cut this away from here. Basically just mirroring the other side. That wasn't very straight. Then you want to cut a slight angle over here. And you want to cut this with a slight angle going here. And then a slight angle on this side. Okay. Then you're going to turn it around. So on this other side, what we're going to do is we're going to cut along each of these score marks. And you will cut away the end square. Cut away the end square. And then you just want to make sure you notch right here. Cut it at an angle. Cut this side at an angle. Okay. All right, and the last notch is going to be on these outer bands. I'd like to make sure I have mine notched pretty well so we don't have too much bulk. We'll see how it turns out, huh? Anyway, this is what you will have. All right, so I now have 4 pieces ready to be put together as boxes, and then I have these pieces that are going to wrap around the box to reinforce it. And so I want to score each of these. This is piece B. Piece B is 8 1/8 by 3 1/2. You're going to score piece B at 8 1/8, at 3 3/8. I'm sorry. You're going to score the 8 1/8 piece at 3 3/8 and 4 7/8. So we'll go through that. That can be done really quick together on all 4 pieces. So you're going to lay it down so that the 8 1/8 is like this. And you're going to score at 3 3/8. That's 1, 2, 3/8, one line before the half, and 4 7/8. That's one line before the 5. And that's it. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is just fold everything in and burnish it just to get it ready to go. So I'm going to fold everything up. This is the front side because it has the 2 long squares, right? So you're just going to fold and burnish all of those marks. And this is where the box will really start to take shape. Okay. Now that we've done that, the next thing we want to do is decorate the outer edge of this box. If you look at it, it's going to be like this. This is going to come up. This is going to wrap over it. This is going to come in. This is your back side. These will come in. This one will go under here. So your front and your sides will be reinforced. The back will not. You just want more reinforcement up here. But before we do all of that, we want to lay this down and we want to cut pieces that will cover the front and the sides and the back, okay, which are going to be your most inside squares. That's what's going to be seen, okay? So you want to cut 3 pieces at 1 3/8 by 3 inches. Let's do that first. All right, so I'm going to use the opposite side of that sheet, and I want these stripes to run along like that, because I don't think it's going to look good if you're going to have random stripes. I don't know. It's just me. We'll see. We'll do the first one this way. So I want it to be 3 inches this way. 3 inches this way, and then 1 3/8 this way, right? To have them run this way. Okay. Sorry, I had to think out loud. So, I'm going to mark it. I'm going to score it because I don't want to mess up. Okay. So it's going to be 3 inches long. Oh, come on. 3 inches long. 3 inches long by 1 1/2/3/8. Oh, well, that's not going to work, Leslie. Thanks anyway. By 1 1/2/3/8. Why do you keep doing that? We do not know. And then I'm going to mark 3 inches this way. 6 inches. 9 inches. 12 inches. Okay, so we got 4 pieces we can get out of this. So I'm just going to cut it right along that. Mark. All right, we're going to do the 1. Can't see it. Okay, it's to the right of that. Right there. 1 3/8. By 3. 3. 6. 9. 12. All right. So we need 3 pieces of that. Okay. Let's see where that fits. That would go here, here, and here. All right, let's stick to what we know. We know we need these 3 pieces on these sides. So I'm going to grab my tape runner. And I'm going to use a little bit of wet glue with it just to make sure it stays. Place that. So the next thing I want to do is add runner's tape to all 4 tabs. And then I want to go in and add it to the inside here. On the 3 sides, not on the back. Okay, and now we're ready to fold. So we're going to take these 2 sides. We'll do one side at a time. How about that? We'll take this side, put it in, match those up. I wanted to fold that one in too, sorry. We'll do better on the second one. Okay, match those up, stick it down, fold it down. Then you want to bring up the back. You want to match up your sides. Match up your sides and then just fold in. And there's the base of your box. That will hold your sticky notes. Let's see if Impatient can open the sticky notes. Come on. Okay, there we go. So just want to show you that they will fit in there. Okay. And these are, of course, the accordion type. So hopefully they'll be okay. But you can get 3 packs in there. How cute is that, right? All right, so we've got that. Now we have another step to do. So I got brave and I just decided I'm hand cutting. And it will be fine. And I'm going down to that second line just to make sure they're all a little even. And then curling back up. And there we have it. Are they all the same? No. Will they work? Yes. They will be just fine. Alright, so maybe cut that before. I don't know. Your choice. The next thing I want to do is take this wraparound cardstock, and we are going to fold and burnish on both of these score lines. And then we are going to take it, and it should be able to wrap around and create a top for the Post-it notes. It won't stay down, and it's not, let's try it this way. See if it works better this way. Yes, it works better that way. Okay, so there's apparently a way to have it, but it's just giving you a little lip there around the edges, just to kind of give it a more finished look. So if you see here, this top is kind of flimsy. You want it to be a little bit more reinforced. So that's where these 3.5, what were they? 3.25 by, no, 3 3.75 by 3.75. This is piece C. Okay, piece C is 3.75 by 3.75, and you just glue that down into here, and that will help to give you that sturdiness. So I'm going to go inside of that outer line, because you should have a little bit of a overhang. My boxes may not be exactly square because, you know, first time doing it, but they're good enough, so that's all we're asking for. And then we're going to take that, put that down right here. Have a little bit of hangover there, but that's okay. If we need to, we can cut it away. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Boy, I did not cut straight at all. Okay. So then, we have that. Which I want to cut away the excess. I'm going to turn on my light. The sun is going down. It's getting hard to see. And I'm not too worried that it was a little bit different in size. It's fine. Just basically wanted to put another piece on there to reinforce that box. Now, I want this to come up like this. So this will be glued right at that edge. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So, I don't want to glue that on yet because I want to put something on this top. So let me grab that. All right, now we're ready to cut piece D, which will be a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece of this paper for the top. So, all right, so 3 1/4. Okay, by 3 1/4. See, this is 2 1/4 1/2. 3 1/4. We'll go on there. All right. Then I want to glue this all the way to the edge there so that this can fold up and be my top. Okay. So I am going to take my tape runner, put one there, put that there, I feel like this needs to be cut down just a little bit. Because it's not really even with the rest of the box, and that's a problem. Okay, then we want to add some glue. Just give us a little bit of wiggle room before we get it down for good. Alright, figure out where your top is. Nope. Take this all the way to the edge and then get it centered on each of those sides. And press that down. And pull this up. Press that down. And she a little funky. She is a little funky. There you go. And you have your first ever made holder for Post-it notes. But I want to let this dry. So I'm going to let that sit to the side. I also want to cover this back. So I'm going to take this small piece here and glue it on this back side. And then it'll have something on all of the sides. And then I'll stamp the bottom with my handmade by stamp. All right, found it. So I'm going to put this on the bottom. Okay, that didn't work so well, so we'll have to do that before we glue it on, and that is fine. I'm going to take a red pen . There you go. Cute, right? So that'll go in the baskets along with this will be the baskets. I've got to get shred. What time is it? Lord, I got to get to the store. We'll have that with Post-it notes. We'll have the little travel journals. We have pens. We have other notepads and things that I'm going to put in here, but I think that will be a fun gift for the ladies at the office for a return to work. I do have one more I know of, one more project that I want to share with you, and that will be in a separate video because this one's getting to be rather long. But I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you haven't, please hit subscribe. I love gaining new friends. And until the next time, I'll see you then. Don't forget, if you subscribe, make sure to put what state you're from down in the comments so we can color in our map. All right, see you in the next one, guys. Bye.